The final round you pour to numb the past is actually the only vessel honest enough to hold the truth you've been drowning. And true sobriety requires not abstaining from feeling, but learning to taste your own story without dilution, until presence becomes the only high worth chasing. In One More Round, Amber Palmer delivers a small-town romance that transforms the bar owner trope into a profound exploration of recovery and masculine reclamation, proving that in communities defined by unspoken pain, healing isn't found in forgetting. It's forged in the radical act of staying present when every instinct demands you check out. This isn't merely another second chance tale with neon signs. It's a psychologically precise narrative where every poured drink feels like both ritual and reckoning. Consent to connect is negotiated through mutual vulnerability rather than assumed compatibility, and love means honoring the man beneath the bartender when culture demands he remain the strong silent type. From the first amber-lit narration, listeners are immersed in a world where spirits are syntax and presence is the only true pour. Perfect for fans of emotionally grounded contemporary fiction and stories where male tenderness defies genre expectations, this audiobook serves up atmospheric warmth, relentless emotional honesty, and protagonists whose journey from guarded strangers to sovereign partners resonates with anyone who's ever mistaken endurance for wholeness. When former soldier Elias Thorne returns to Pinecrest Ridge to reopen his family's bar after rehab, he expects solitary penance, not to discover the tavern's worn wood mirrors the exact grief he's buried beneath years of performative stoicism, and the community organizer Ilara Vance's quiet insistence on collaboration bypasses his defenses to create space for a connection that defies his post-recovery rules. But as they navigate renovation deadlines and varied attractions, Elias realizes this reopening isn't about business, it's about integration. Palmer masterfully avoids reducing Elias to tragic veteran or Ilara to savior archetype. Instead, she crafts a relationship rooted in radical reciprocity within constraint, where trust is earned through honoring boundaries even as desire blurs them, and where intimacy emerges from seeing each other beyond assigned roles. The audiobook narration amplifies this emotional alchemy, capturing Elias's disciplined restraint softening into genuine receptivity, and Ilara's steadfast calm revealing warmth beneath professional vigilance. You don't just hear their bond deepen, you feel the seismic shift of two souls learning that some rounds can only be shared when you stop drinking alone. What elevates One More Round beyond typical small-town romance fare is its nuanced portrayal of recovery as collaborative creation rather than individual triumphs. Elias isn't merely staying sober, he's confronting how military and bar culture taught him to equate worth with utility, challenging the notion that safety requires emotional erasure. Ilara doesn't fix him through intervention, she creates sanctuary where his fragility can exist without judgment, honoring his autonomy even as her own walls crumble. Their relationship evolves through acts of radical reciprocity, sharing silences during late-night cleanups that bypass performance, establishing rhythms that protect both operational integrity and psychological safety, and in defending each other from patrons who mistake evolution for weakness. Supporting characters add vital texture, fellow veterans whose loyalty and code suppress trauma, regulars whose stories carry intergenerational weight, even the bar itself rendered as living archive whose polished surfaces absorb decades of unspoken bargains. Every interaction reinforces the novel's core truth. In systems built on extraction, tenderness is technique, and presence is the only sustainable resource. Even the romance mechanics serve thematic depth, with recipe development mirroring emotional attunement and happy hour rituals becoming metaphors for earned trust. For audiobook listeners, this production is an immersive sensory descent into amber intimacy. The narrator embodies Elias and Ilara with remarkable distinction. Elias's voice carries gravelly exhaustion laced with dawning softness, while Ilara's tone holds steady intelligence beneath layers of hard-won compassion, making their chemistry palpable even in stillness. Sound design enhances atmosphere without overwhelming immersion. Distant jukebox melodies marking temporal rhythm, rain against frosted windows during vulnerable confessions, the hushed clink of glass sinking with breath during moments of clarity, all anchor existential stakes in tangible reality. Pacing mirrors the cadence of recovery and renewal, deliberate during reflection and alliance building, then surging with urgency as external pressures collide with internal awakenings. Whether you're commuting through stable landscapes or sitting in twilight solitary, the audiobook creates a portable sanctuary where slowness feels sacred and connection feels lifeline. Its storytelling as embodied validation, transforming passive listening into active participation in a love story that honors both duty and surrender. Ultimately, One More Round redefines small-town romance by centering male emotional labor within recovery frameworks. It satisfies genre cravings for satisfying chemistry and hopeful resolution, while delivering substantive commentary on veteran reintegration, feminine agency, and the radical act of building partnerships based on mutual recognition rather than rescue. As Book 1 in the Pinecrest Ridge series, it establishes a foundation of emotional authenticity that promises depth throughout the saga, yet stands confidently as a complete emotional odyssey. If you've ever wondered whether strength can coexist with softness, or if true mastery requires embracing what others fear, this audiobook will affirm that sometimes the most powerful act is simply pouring one more round of truth. Press play, pull up a stool, and prepare to believe that even in landscapes shaped by loss, hearts still find ways to toast. Your next favorite small-town romance isn't waiting in flawless heroes. It's waiting in the brave, trembling choice to stay present.